But we also have some other breaking news to get to tonight out of the Supreme Court that could have impacts on everyone. Because late today in a decision split along ideological lines, the justices granted Elon Musk's DOGE team access to the highly sensitive Social Security records of every American as the case moves forward. The court also handed DOGE a second victory by saying that DOGE does not have to turn over its internal records to a government watchdog group, which, by the way, is completely bananas and as crazy as it sounds, and alarming, and we're going to talk about that. The three liberal justices dissented in both decisions, and in the matter of whether DOGE staffers could access Social Security data, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson wrote an absolutely blistering dissent, and I wanted to read some of it to you. Here's part of what she said, quote, "Once again, this court dons its emergency responder gear, rushes to the scene, and uses its equitable power to fan the flames rather than extinguish them." She went on to accuse her conservative fellow justices of giving unfettered data access to DOGE despite its failure to show any need or any interest in complying with existing privacy safeguards. And she also accuses them of jettisoning careful judicial decision-making and creating grave privacy risks for millions of Americans in the process. And I hate to say this, but she is completely right. I mean, this Social Security news may seem like a dry story about access to data, but it is a huge freaking deal and will continue to be. Because Social Security numbers are the key to accessing just about every facet of life in America, from your bank account to your job to your actual Social Security check. And there are other reasons to be concerned about this too. Like, for example, who exactly will be getting access to this data? I mean, you may remember the name Marco Alez. He's the...
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so crazy?
We will make America proud again. If you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
They say this is Elon Musk right now. I tell you, what a week it's been, you guys. I hope y'all are smiling right now, that you all are in good spirits, man. No matter how this thing play out and, you know, what's so-called staged or scripted or what takes place in the world of politics, man. I hope everybody right now is just blessed, well, and healthy, that you have an amazing week, an amazing weekend, man. You know, politics is a dirty game, man, and it's crazy, you know, especially in America, you know, but we're wishing for a better way of life for everybody, man, no matter what your skin color is, you know, what you look like, what your age is. A better way of life for everybody. We're praying for peace, man. We're rooting for President Trump. We're rooting for America, man. The America First agenda, you know. Some people woke up today and say, hey, is anybody getting arrested? Is anybody being walked out with their hands behind their back? Is anybody being arrested on this beautiful Saturday? Anybody? I know some of them pages woke up and said that. I know, trust me, I know. Them pages is waiting, you know. But we got some more. Let me scroll up. We got some more breaking news from the Supreme Court. Some huge news from the Supreme Court, man. Elon Musk in tow his draws, staring at the wall. Maybe he's laughing. Maybe he's, you know, having a good time. He's having a good time right now, deleting his post about Trump and his memes and stuff, and having laughing emojis on things. And they even, one of the ones said, maybe this was all a part of the plan. And Elon Musk put, you might not be wrong. You might not be, you might be correct. You know, so who knows what this all can play out to be. Maybe we need to go take Elon Musk's phone, you know. But we're not going to come on here and bash the man, because Doge, Elon has put a lot, you know, on the line, a lot of sacrifice. And, you know, again, he didn't get his way on a lot of things and policies, you know, but hey, here we are, you know. But I don't think going the route of saying Trump is a pedophile and having him around your son playing daddy daycare. I don't know if that, I don't know if that was the best route. If they call this chess and it to be scripted and staged, I tell you, that's some hell of acting. I tell you, But we seeing how President Trump has been dragged through the mud, man, and treated unfair. And again, you guys voted for President Trump, not Elon Musk. But them teaming up made America stronger. It shows something, especially this past election. And seeing them old footages and clips and the interviews with President Trump, Elon Musk, you can tell it was very genuine, that he actually cared, that he actually came out and said, I love this man. As a straight man, I love this man more than love. Like, even as a straight man, I know people laugh at that, but, and then they were just in the Oval Office a couple of days ago and he got the keys and, everything looked good. He had a black eye. He was beat up. Looked like somebody beat him up. And Trump was like, do you need some makeup? And he's like, nah, I'm okay. And then those videos looked really weird of him making those movements and like he was twitching and something in the head was like not right. And we've seen those clips of Trump talking about drill, baby, drill. And Elon kind of goes, oh, okay. Like he wasn't really excited about drill, baby, drill. So, we'll see how this thing plays out, man. But we are rooting for President Trump in America. But we got some news on the Supreme Court, so let's go and jump into this. The Supreme Court has granted DOGE full access to the Social Security database. Now we are really going to find massive evidence of waste, fraud, and abuse. Social Security payouts total about $1.6 trillion per year. The floodgates are open. Awesome. I can only imagine the fraud, waste, and abuse here. Hundreds of billions per year easily, but politicians have historically been too scared to even talk about investigating Social Security. Yeah. It's a lot of things President Trump has brought out and talked about, that one of the reasons why so many people resonated with President Trump, because he was talking about things that other politicians don't. And for that reason, a lot of people have turned their back on President Trump. They used to love President Trump. All in his face. Oh, Donald. Oh, Donald. Donald, how's the family? How's Big Bear and Donald? Oh, Melania, how Donald, I can't wait to go to Mar-a-Lago and eat that key lime pie, Donald. I have made us key lime pie. And I have apple as well, Donald. And blueberry, Donald. I even made you a peach cobbler, Donald. Oh, Donald, I love you, Donald. You're so... And then right down when he came down that escalator. This orange dictator, threat to democracy. I think he's Adolf. That's Adolf. When does the dictating start? Unbelievable, man. I'm still asking anybody, when does the dictating start? Just can't make it up, man. Y'all know your boy Rick gonna come on here and be real with you, man. But we are rooting for America, man. Prayers for Trump. We got to get up and keep fighting, man. We literally was this close, man. We've been through the shams, the witch hunts, the unfair treatment. Literally was this close to seeing them unalive live in front of the world, man. And everybody was there airing that rally. CNN was there airing it, We were this close, man. And there's been multiple attempts on his life, just dragged through the mud. When the man didn't have to do any of this. He said, if this wasn't such a terrible job done, I could be somewhere enjoying the rest of my life. Somewhere enjoying the rest of my life on a golf course. We know he doesn't drink or smoke or anything, but sometimes I say President Trump could be somewhere sipping a margarita. But we know our president does not drink. And, when he releases those health records, because somebody else couldn't be transparent and release their health records, come to find out the biggest auto pin, the biggest scandal in American history. But President Trump just released all his medical records. You talk about transparency from the previous administration. It's a night and day difference, So he's, healthy. And he's in good spirits and even said, I'm wishing the best for Elon Musk. I'm wishing that his companies do well and are very successful. You know, and he even shut down the fake news media and reports and saying Elon Musk is about his Elon Musk being on drugs and this, and even calling the New York Times paper that they're giving Elon very fair, unfair treatment as well. Very classy and reserved from President Trump, man. You know, even after getting dragged through the mud, if it was, if those attacks from Elon Musk were, you know, real and this wasn't scripted or staged or trolling or trying to bait Democrats to actually get the, you know, for the Epstein files to actually be released, you know. Hey, so again, I want you guys to comment down. What do you think about all this? But we got more news from the Supreme Court, so let's go and roll the tape.
Take a look at this. We're getting some news out of the Supreme Court. Now, if you don't know, June is when we get all the major rulings from the justices of the Supreme Court, and there were a few of note today, especially regarding DOGE, Elon Musk, and Social Security numbers and access here. Well, this is what we know, according to the Associated Press, that the Supreme Court handed the Trump administration 2 victories today in cases involving DOGE, including giving it access to Social Security systems containing personal data on millions of Americans. The justices also separately reined in orders seeking transparency at DOGE, the team once led by billionaire Elon Musk. The court's conservative majority sided with the Trump administration in the first Supreme Court appeals involving DOGE. The 3 liberal justices dissented in both cases. Now, the DOGE victories come amid a messy breakup that started shortly after Musk's departure from the White House and has included threats to cut government contracts and a call for the president to be impeached. In one case, the High Court halted an order from a judge in Maryland restricting the team's access to the Social Security Administration under federal privacy laws. Now, the court said in an unsigned order, quote, we conclude that under the present circumstances, SSA may proceed to afford members of the SSA DOGE team access to the agency records in question in order for those members to do their work. The agency holds sensitive data on nearly everyone in the country, including school records, salary details, and medical information. So a big win for DOGE, the Trump administration, and Elon Musk, though he is no longer with DOGE. Now, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson said the court's action creates, quote, grave privacy risks for millions of Americans by giving them, quote, unfettered data access to DOGE regardless, despite its failure to show any need or any interest in complying with existing privacy safeguards, and all before we know for sure whether federal law countenances such access. Justice Sotomayor joined Jackson's opinion, and Justice Kagan said she would also have ruled against the administration here. So, this is a 6-3 ruling. The Trump administration says DOGE needs access to carry out its mission of targeting waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government. Musk had been focused on Social Security as an alleged hotbed of fraud. The billionaire entrepreneur who has stepped back from his work with DOGE has described it as a, quote, Ponzi scheme, and insisted that reducing waste in the program is an important way to cut government spending here. So the Supreme Court issuing a major win for DOGE, the Trump administration, and its efforts there at the Social Security Administration to access private information in order to cut what they describe as fraud in Social Security. So had to get that in.
Yeah. You know. We'll see where this takes us, man. We will see where this takes us, you know. You just can't make it up. You just can't. You know, but we are rooting for President Trump's administration. This is what they ran on. This was the campaign promise, you know. And it's honestly sad to see how some of these judges and how the Supreme Court has acted on some of these things, and these activist judges, you know. The people spoke loud and clear. You know, loud and clear. Mandate. You know, people think they outrank the president, then what's the point of a presidential election? But what do y'all think of this? Let me know. You know, how do you feel about this whole Elon Musk situation? How do you feel about how this week has been? You know, but I want to encourage you guys to Continue to be amazing human beings. Continue to put a smile on your face. Continue to spread the love. Check on your loved ones. Be there. Keep being amazing leaders and mentors. Right from wrong, common sense, especially to our parents. You know, keep working hard. I know we're all working hard, tired, stressed out, blood, sweat, tears, almost 100 hours a week. It feels like, you know. I myself, I feel it too, man. You know, we all get hit upside the head, you know. Being in old, beautiful America, man. We love our country. We're rooting for our country. We're rooting for President Trump. And we're going to continue to bring the best updates. And again, one day at a time, family. One day at a time. We'll be bringing more Supreme Court updates as they come out, keeping you guys updated. I love y'all. God bless you all and your family. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace and love, you guys.